everybody, and welcome to the Real Tarot 1123. I hope all of you are doing very well. I am doing this reading for my Movie Star Monday series, and this is going to be a reading for Paul Walker. I know I had said I was going to do this reading. I don't quite recollect who requested. I had that sheet of paper where I had all those notifications, and of course that paper is conveniently missing now. So I know what's going on over there. So let's take a quick look and figure out and see the overall energy. Oh wait, by the way, for Paul Walker, I got his date of birth as September 12th, 1973, and he died on November 30th, 2013. So he's a Virgo, died in Sagittarius season. I also did a little bit for the fellow who was driving the car that they crashed in. That is Roger Rodas. He was born on October 31st, 1975. Is that 5? Yeah, that's 5. And he died on November 30th. So he's a Scorpio, died in Sag season. The focus is actually on Paul Walker now, but since it was like, two people died in that accident, in that same incident, I figured I'd just kind of see what else was going on there. So before I start, let me say thank you to all my subscribers for your continued support, for your subscriptions, your comments, the thumbs up. I really do appreciate it, for your participation in the live streams, right? So I appreciate that. Now, to those of you who are visiting for the very first time, thank you for stopping by. I hope you decide to stay and become a member of the Real family. Please do give me a thumbs up, leave your comments. I do read the comments, and also I hope you get a chance to participate on the live streams. Every Friday, 7 p.m., that's 1900 hours, I have a live stream on YouTube, and it's called Lost But Not Forgotten, where I cover a lot of cases for those who have gone missing, the criminal cases, human trafficking, child abduction, murders, mysteries, that sort of a thing. I also post videos on Wednesdays. It's called Wicked Wednesdays, so take a look around. And if in case you're wondering, yes, I do personal tarot readings. Feel free to visit my website. It is in the description box. It is www.therealtarot1123.com. It's very easy to navigate, very user friendly. It has all the information, the different kinds of readings I offer. You can fill in all the information, pick the date and time that works for you, make your payment, and on confirmation of the payment, your personal reading is confirmed. I do that via Zoom, FYI, so it's awesome. And I have monthly subscriptions. Go and check out my website. It's interesting. I'm sure you'll find a lot over there that could help you, right? So anyway, excuse me. So here we go. I'm wearing my serious readers. At least this makes, I'm told this particular pair makes me look like a school teacher or something. I don't know. Nothing wrong with school teachers. Nothing wrong with wearing glasses either. Oh well, here we go. Why did I have to talk about that? No idea, right? And of course, being visually OCD. All right, here we go. We have Virgo pop up. I'm not surprised this is for Paul Walker because he's a Virgo himself. How cool is that? And then we have Taurus. The camera is set up in such a way today that you're not going to be able to see my cards, but I hold them up. And then we have Capricorn. Not surprised at all. It's very, very interesting, how these things are turning out. And now, particularly after, well, let's do this. I'm going to pick 2 more. Mars and Pluto. Not surprised. Not at all surprised. It's very, very interesting. So let's take a look at this. Where is my top cards over here? We have the Empress. We have the Fool card. We have the Strength card. We not at all surprised. The Death card, particularly the way they're showing up. and then we have 2, the high priestess. So let's take a look. Okay, so Virgo is his first house, right? He was a Virgo. Then he has Taurus, and for him Taurus is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, ninth house. I'm not surprised. Capricorn is his 5th house. Mars rules Scorpio, which is his 3rd house, and Mars also rules Aries, 8th house. And Pluto, of course, rules Scorpio. So now, with Virgo being his primary house, we have the Empress card over here. The Empress card is ruled by Venus. Okay, it does talk about luxury, female energy, feminine energy, pregnancy, having the abundance and all the good stuff in life. So his first house, and you having that Empress card, for him, I would say his whole life pretty much revolved around his daughter. I think she was, and he really did continue to care for the mother of his child. Now I don't know when he passed. I don't think he was married, but whoever is the mother of his child, he still always cared for her. They were fine. They were in a good relationship, even though they might have parted ways. And he carried a lot of love and affection for her, for sure. They might have parted ways, but they didn't part as enemies. That's not what I'm seeing. Now for him, as a Virgo, Taurus, Virgo is a Mercury sign, it's an earth sign, and Taurus is an earth sign too. So they are sister signs, right? So 1, 2, 3, 9th house. So in the 9th house, you have, what is the 9th house? The 9th house talks about travel, higher education, intellect, long distance travel, if you will, the father, that sort of a thing. Then you have the Hangman over there. I do believe he might have been considering or thinking about relocating. He might have also been considering or working on some intellectual property pretty close to his dad. However, the relationship, as much as they were close to each other, there could have been a little bit of a lull in a relationship, probably because they might have, he might have told his dad, this is what I want to do. And the father might have said, yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. And, not out of disrespect. It's just 2 people looking at the same thing from different perspectives, and they may not necessarily have agreed with each other, but there could have been a temporary distancing of the relationship, or maybe they were not communicating as much with each other as they would have liked. Then you have Mars, right? Mars rules Scorpio and Aries. Now for him as a Virgo, Scorpio is his 3rd house and Aries is his 8th house. Now, 3rd house talks about immediate environment and short trips, that sort of a thing. And 8th house talks about will, secrets, occult, death, regeneration, long-term finances, etc. And you have the death card on top of that. And the death card talks about change and rebirth. I do believe he was considering changing something. I do believe he was considering starting on a new trajectory. But also this clearly shows that it is a very fiery demise, death by fire, and it shows that it was in the immediate environment, meaning close to where he was living at. So I don't know which city and state he lived. I don't know. And wherever this accident happened, I do believe he lived in California, and the accident happened in California too. But this would have been his immediate environment, and it would have definitely, absolutely confirms that death was by fire. And here you have Pluto. Pluto rules Scorpio. Now Scorpio is his 1, 2, 3rd house, right? Pluto talks about regeneration, and you have the High Priestess card over there. Maybe he was actually in the process of trying to regenerate or I should say regenerate a particular relationship that might have ended in the past. So I don't know whether he was trying to reconnect with the mother of his child, or whether he was trying to reconnect with somebody else with whom his relationship might have passed. But I do believe it is more like an intimate relationship, and more like a personal relationship, not a business or whatever. And it was not a platonic relationship. So maybe there was somebody over there who he was really interested in and trying to reconnect or wanting to reconnect. and re-establish or regenerate that relationship that may not necessarily have worked out in the past. And he's like, I'm going to look at it from a different perspective, because here you have the hangman on top of Taurus, and Taurus is ruled by Venus, so it talks about all the earthly things, relationships, that sort of stuff as well. So and definitely feminine energy too. So but I'm going to say, in terms of wanting to regenerate that relationship, he was wanting to go a little bit slow, not necessarily to rush into it. I don't think he was that impulsive kind of a person, but he definitely was looking forward to wanting to rebuild that relationship and that sort of a thing. And this blouse is annoying me, shouldn't have worn it, but too late now, but okay. All right, let's take a look. So we have the King of Wands, okay? And then we have the Six of Cups, the Moon card, the Tower, not at all surprised. I'm just going to pull one more for that. Not at all surprised. And the Two of Swords. Very, very interesting. So the King of Wands, I'll show you these cards like this, so that way you all will know how. Come on, buddy. Okay. So we have the Virgo, we have the Empress, and then we have the King of Wands. So what this is telling me is, and let me show you the others too before I get started. This is how I stack them, just so I can keep it concise and not have cards all over my my desk. All right. So that way you all will know how I am stacking the cards or laying them on my table. Because I'm working on things and I got stuff here and I'm like, I'm not going to sit and hear them out. I'm just going to shove them to the side for the moment. So with the King of Wands, it's a very, very interesting energy that he has over here with the King of Wands energy, because King of Wands does talk about somebody who's very courageous and charming and not afraid to take action, not afraid to do like bold, that sort of a thing. But this King of Wands energy also has a softer side to it. It's not all about action and fire and fury and feisty thing. It also has an element of somebody who's very capable of being what's the word, like if you were to talk to this individual is all about action and yes, but there's a softer side to this individual where it's almost like the conversations you would be able to have, the ease of communication with this particular person, and you would come to think that this individual almost has a soothing, healing effect on you. That's right on his first house. So they're very calm, very soothing, very easy, cool, chill, collected, but then again not afraid to take action. So I would say a perfect blend of being action, what's the word? Yeah, action oriented, like not afraid to act on anything that he wanted to, but then again there was that element of contemplation, element of thinking beyond the box, thinking about things almost from a spiritual level. Then we have the Six of Cups with regards to the Taurus card and the Hangman. There is a certain element of what's the word, nostalgia here, thinking about relationships in the past, right? Taurus, hang on one second. So 1, 2, 9,000 talks, yeah, a little bit of nostalgia. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is because he might have wanted to wish he could turn back the clock in terms of communication or reconnecting with somebody. So missing somebody, right? I do believe because I said the 9th house was higher intellect, higher education, distant travel, father. So maybe he was missing his dad and he was wanting to reconnect with him and wishing you could go back to certain dynamics in the past. That's what I'm feeling. Then we have Capricorn here, and then we have the Strength card, which is a Leo card, and then you have the Moon card over here. Very, very interesting. So with Capricorn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's his 5th house. It talks about speculation, right? It talks about love affairs. It talks about hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It talks about kids, right? And then on top of that, you have the strength card. So there is with the strength card and the moon card showing up there, what was it that he was speculating about? Okay, was it something to do with his personal relationships, or was it something to do with how to raise his child, or something about the child? But with the strength card, which is a Leo card, it's showing me that there was a bit of a conflict about practical approach as opposed to what is the right thing to do here, as opposed to how is this going to affect this other individual. Sometimes by doing the right thing, that other individual may not necessarily appreciate it, that type of a thing. A little bit of speculation even in terms of handling certain relationships. It could also be, for the most part, I'm going to say this is regarding intimate relationships, but it could have been speculation with regards to somebody who we really cared for in a business environment. So, you can be business partners with a buddy, you can be business partners with a friend who you really do care for and love, not necessarily be in love with, you know what I mean? So there was some speculation over there. And then you have the moon card show up. The moon card to me is a Pisces card. I think there was a little bit of and remember, Jupiter and Neptune rule Pisces. So there must have been a little bit of confusion. There must have been a little bit of, speculation is the same as confusion, right? Or, not really. Fifth house is speculation, and Neptune, which rules Pisces, is confusion, illusion, and dream. So there must have been a little bit of a confusion in terms of what's the right approach, how do I go about doing this. But this card is clearly telling me, with a moon card, it's saying that he kind of sort of felt that that particular relationship was not necessarily going to turn out the way he wanted it to. So there was a little bit of that. Now, who's in Capricorn though? Virgo is in Capricorn. Okay. So then we have the Tower card, the Death card, and Mars. So this clearly is an indication of, yes, absolutely, death by fire. Absolutely, there is no an accident for sure. There is definitely an ending, a disillusionment, a clearly you can tell. I mean, this is definitely death by fire, and it was bound to be. I don't think he died. I don't know what the coroner said and all that, y'all. I don't know about all those things, and it's beyond my. I'm not in any way, shape, or form an expert in that. But even if he had sustained serious injuries in the accident, I don't think he died because of those serious injuries as much as he passed because of the fire. That's what I think. So if he was pulled out in time, if he was kind of somehow rescued, would he have sustained like some major burns to his body? Yeah, absolutely. But there's a chance he could have survived. There is a chance he could have survived. Now, people will say, well, Kitara, there's a chance anybody in an accident can survive. That's true. But I think the fire is what causes death more so than the injuries on impact. Like, what, again, I'm not an expert. I'm just saying what I see here. Then you have the Pluto card, which, as I said, rules Scorpio. And Scorpio is his third house. And third house is immediate environment. And you have 2, right? That is a high priestess, again ruled by the moon. And then you have the 2 of Swords over here. I do believe he was 2 of Swords. What is 2 of Swords? 2 of Swords talks about choices, multitasking, weighing the pros and cons, etc. I think he was really contemplating about that relationship, whoever it was. I'm also going to ask, did he or had he just spoken to this individual before he got into the car and before the accident? I don't know. If any of y'all know that information, let us know, share. I do believe he might have tried to communicate with this individual and kind of might have also talked about, making a decision or a choice or something like that. Okay, there was some sort of a communication. That was what was on his mind around the time that he passed. He was seriously contemplating something about that relationship and reconnecting or not, or whatever the case may be. So a couple of things I want to share with you all before we go any further. Like the driver of the vehicle, right? His name is Rodas or something. Now, there were some similarities that kind of freaked me out over here, y'all. So Roger was born on October 31st, so he's a Sagittarius. So Paul being a Virgo, 1, 2, 3, Sagittarius is the 4th house, okay? Then you have, so Sagittarius is the 4th house, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10th house is Virgo. So then we have, if Paul is a Virgo, Sagittarius is Scorpio is his 10th house. I take that back. Hang on one second. So 1, 2, 3. He was Roger Rodas was a Scorpio. I'm sorry. 1, 2. So Scorpio is his 3rd house. Scorpio is Paul's 3rd house. 3rd house talks about immediate environments and short trips. So clearly they would have gone on a short trip. They would have been within the environment of each other, meaning know each other. They were not strangers to each other. Okay. Then let's take a look at the date they died. Both of them died on November 30th, right? So for Paul, November 30th, which is a Sagittarius, is 1, 2, 3, 4th house. Okay? And for Roger, who's a Scorpio, his 2nd house is Sagittarius. Okay? So 4th house and 2nd house, they are usually not really bad for each other, if you will. If you look at astrology, I'm delving into too much of that. I won't go there. It'll confuse you all. Then let's take a look at for Roger being a Scorpio, right? His 2nd house is Sag, and he died in Sagittarius season. His 3rd house is Capricorn, and Paul's 5th house is Capricorn. So without delving too much into this, I'm just going to say there is certainly a connection between the way their stars, and I don't have the time of birth and city and state of birth. I won't get too much because that will take everybody off balance here. There is definitely a connection between these guys and the way they came to be and came to pass. But I'm also going to go so far as to say that between the two of them, if anybody had any chance of survival, it was Paul. Not so much Roger. Libra and Sag, 1, 2, 3, 3rd house. Yeah, they were meant to go. Anybody between the two of them, if anybody would have survived, it would have been Paul. Not so much Roger. I don't think he stood a chance. So that's just like what I wanted to say. So remember, Roger's 3rd house is Capricorn and 5th house for Paul. So Capricorn is right in the middle over here. And 5th house is speculation, 3rd house is immediate environment. So they must have been speculating about how fast the car goes or something. That's a high possibility. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, right? And Saturn is what is restriction. Saturn is like, heavy energy. Come on, buddy, come on. I'm going to take these cards because they're plopped right out. So here we go. We have the Star card. Then we have the Two of Wands. Here, actually, that's how it should be. The Star card, the Two of Wands, and we have the Seven of Wands. Then we have, oh wow, Eight of Wands. My goodness. And the Ten of Wands. What's with all these Wands energies? That's very interesting, isn't it? So Wands talks about desire, passion, fury, feisty, outgoing, energetic, creative type of an energy. That's what Wands are, right? Now let's dial it back. We have the Star card. Now the Star card, as we know, is an Aquarius card, and the Star card talks about hope and inspiration, help from unexpected sources, etc. So let's see where Aquarius lies for these two guys. So for Paul, he's a Virgo. Aquarius is going to be his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th house. Okay? Excuse me. And for Roger, he's a Scorpio. Aquarius is 1, 2, 3, 4th house for him. So it's so weird that these guys, the placement of their planets, right? It's so, like, if you look at astrology, there's a lot you can see and tell with that. Like I said, I won't delve into it. I'm sorry, I'm leaving you all like hanging as far as that is concerned. It could really kind of skew everything. These two, I would say, they were people who thunk alike, who are of the same mindsets, and who would have been good for each other, like support for each other, like they would have been good friends. I don't know if I'd go so far as to say the best of buddies. I don't think so, but they would have been good friends. And to a certain extent, their likes, as far as certain things are concerned, in this case, cars, is very much understandable, and it goes beyond just, hey, you have a hobby, I have a hobby. It's really genuinely that interest in it. But I'll also tell you this, I think more than Paul, the Roger fellow is more of an automotive type of a guy than Paul. I think Paul's interest is more like a hobby interest type of a thing, but for Roger it was a little bit more than that. And I'm also going to say that with the Aquarius card, with the hope and inspiration, I wouldn't be surprised if they were actually wanting to do something together. They were hoping that they could work out maybe a project, or maybe, start something together in terms of a hobby project, not so much from a business perspective. And then you have the Two of Wands, and the Two of Wands does talk about waiting to make results, a choice, travel plans. But the Two of Wands also says that you are still weighing the pros and cons. You are still kind of trying to make a decision, to take action, right? But knowing very well that that action you take is going to unlock and open a lot of doors, which could lead you on so many different paths. Well, where did that door, what door did it open, and what path did it lead to? Well, you have the Seven of Wands. Unlocking this opportunity and taking this action and going down that path would have been good for you, but then you also would have experienced some competition, and you would have had to protect yourself, okay, as far as competition was concerned. So it was more like a competitive environment. And then you have the Eight of Wands, and Eight of Wands talks about quick, speedy action, and the Eight of Wands, surprisingly, is right on top of the Mars, the Death, the Pluto card. So that tells me that I don't think this whole thing took more than 8 seconds to happen. I wouldn't be surprised. I think it was like really fast. But the Eight of Wands also talks about really quick. I think the moment the fire broke, it was like done in 8 seconds. But if they were able to get him out before the fire, he would have survived, albeit with serious injuries, but he would have survived. And then we have 10. 10 of Wands does talk about feeling completely burdened and weighed down. So I don't know when they take the forensic whatever and the pictures and accident pictures, but it shows to me that he was tied, in the sense he was weighed down. He was somehow restricted. So even though his injuries were pretty severe, I wouldn't be surprised if he was somehow restricted, yeah, fine, seatbelt, but also kind of pinned down. That's the feeling I get. He was pinned down. So trying to extract him from that could have also been a little bit of a situation. I feel like he was restricted and weighed down. So again, I don't know. I haven't seen pictures. This is what this is telling me. This is very quick, y'all. This whole thing about starting off speculating and wanting, I think they must have wanted to speculate to see how the car performs or whatever, and then they had options of either doing it over there or going somewhere else, and they chose to do that run over there, and everything went downhill really fast from there. I mean, it's very unfortunate. Look at all of this is the wands energy, and then you have the one air energy, right? The air energy, as we all know, the swords talks about intellect and rationale and things like that. I think they kind of set aside any apprehensions and say, let's just go for it, let's just try it here, that type of a thing. Should they have? No, in hindsight, no. But oh my God, I can't. This is just too sad. This is the sad thing for me, which I can't seem to get past, is the fact that it wasn't the impact that caused him fatal injuries. It was the fire. If they could have got him out, yes, he would have been in ICU or whatever. He would have had some major injuries, etc. But they could have got him out of that. But who's to say, right? I mean, and then now you have the Seven of Swords and the Page of Swords. So the Seven of Swords does talk about feeling betrayed, and the Page of Swords does talk about a lot of gossip, prying eyes. But for some reason, whoever it is who is, maybe his family or his parents or whoever, they feel like not enough was done. Not enough was done to rescue him. They feel like if they could have, he would have been able to. But also the Seven of Swords, there's this great feeling. Look at this. There's a great feeling of somebody stealing something, right? Clearly, I mean, his life is lost. Everybody feels that, death stolen, which is so true. And the Page of Swords, there's still a lot of talk about whether this was whether this was genuinely an accident or some other mischief going on behind the scenes, if you know what I mean, conspiracy theories. And then you have the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is telling me, what are the odds? You start with Seven of Swords and end with Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups does tell me that there is a lot of speculation still going on. Lot of talk about maybe it is this, maybe it is that, and too many choices, and meaning when I say choices, not as in eeny meeny miny mo choice, but too many people, suspicion on a lot of people for a lot of reasons. And there must have been a good amount of investigation that went into this whole thing for at least about 7 months. And I'm not talking about police investigation. Whoever loved ones are, they really thought it was conspiracy, and they really did look into it. And then it died, and then it picked up again, I'm going to say, after his first anniversary. And whatever the speculative theory or whatever it is, this group of people who, whoever they are, for the next 7 years, they did a lot trying to figure out. I don't think they found out if it was staged and if it was actually set up to go this way to eliminate him. I don't think that. Oh my God, Knight of Coins. Oh my God, look at this. But this card is surprising. This was the card for the day today as well, the 26th of April. This card talks about the hard work is going to pay off. So it's funny, I should say, that for the next 7 years they looked into it, nothing happened. But now the Page of Coins pops up. I mean, the Knight of Coins, he pops up and he says, you know what? All the hard work is going to pay off. So we'll see. And then Temperance. Oh my God. Look at that. Temperance. Right? Now, Temperance, of course, is a Sagittarius card. Yeah, y'all, I wouldn't be surprised. And then Queen of Wands. One more card. And then the Strength card. Look at this. Second time we got that, right? The Strength card. So, Temperance does talk about there is going to be a balance, okay? The Queen of Wands is somebody who's going to be taking action, and then the Strength card does talk about, you know what, y'all? I'm going to go so far as to say, when did he pass? In 2013. 10, 14 years. So 2013. Okay, so that's, I would not be surprised if, for whatever reason, this case is opened back up by a Queen of Wands in his life. Could be the daughter. And they are going to figure out what really happened, because there is really no closure as yet. I don't know who this Queen of Wands is beside his daughter. I don't know who else in his life, but it is definitely a female. She has been trying very hard to find balance as an, I know she was a young child when he passed. As she got on, she's had a lot of very strong-willed young lady. I'm going to say very, very strong-willed young lady, is not afraid to speak her mind, is not afraid to bear her emotions either. But I'm going to say 14 years from when he passed, that is 2013, coming up within the next I don't know, maybe couple years here, she might start digging in a little, and or maybe she's already doing it. Something's going to pop up about this case again, y'all. Not so much because it's the 10th anniversary or whatever, but something else is going to pop up about this case. And I think it's going to come to be seen as there is an individual who could have shed more light on this case, or brought something to the forefront. It's almost like she knows something. Oh God, how am I can't even. It's like there's a leopard that doesn't change its spots, right? That leopard who never changes his spots. Wait, is that how they say it? How did they say it? A leopard doesn't change its spots or something. This person who's in behind the scenes and who has gone under the radar and never kind of been in the spotlight in terms of, with regards to this case, this lady, this female energy, is going to kind of show that individual up for who he or she is. This Queen of Wands is a very determined person. She's not afraid to take action. She's not afraid to bare her soul. I don't even know who she is. I wish I knew. Besides the daughter, I don't know who else. And now I'm wondering whether it is the daughter, because I felt very strongly it was a feminine energy, or is it she's going to take action with regards to this death. This whole thing is going to kind of come under the radar and spotlight again. Because there's something else similar like this that's going to happen. Oh my God. 3 of Coins. Oh my God. One more person is going to go, y'all. I'm going to stop. I don't want to do this no more. I'm just going to stop. Yeah. There's something else. Remember before I put the 3 of Coins card, I said there's something else like this is going to happen again, and that's going to open up everything, and the 3 of Coins pops up. I do believe there's another incident that's similar to this that's going to happen, and then it'll be like everybody's going to be like, oh, you remember Paul Walker? Okay, maybe we should go back and look at that and see how that happened. I'm going to stop. I know this is abrupt and okay, whatever. I mean, people are going, well, Kirtana, why did you stop? Well, I am. I'm kind of getting a little bit agitated now because the energy I'm sensing is actually giving me, believe it or not, y'all, very rarely do I talk about this. It's almost like my heart is beating a little faster. It's the weirdest thing, a little bit of, I don't know, not anxiety, but palpitations. It's like, I just need to stop. Okay, so I'm sure y'all will, please do leave your comments. I appreciate it. I read your comments. I may not get to them all, immediately, but I do go back and I respond. So I do appreciate each and every one of you. Please give me a thumbs up, like this video, and hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when I post other videos. Thank you so very much, everybody. And I gotta say, Paul Walker, I do miss him. Anybody, I'm sure there are a lot of people in Hollywood, great people, who have unfortunately died very young. And to know that Paul Walker should die in such a horrendous way, and I'm not an expert, I'm not a, groupie or whatever, never have been, but what little I have what little I'm able to observe, or whatever my instincts when I look at his picture, he was a really decent guy. I mean, yeah, I'm sure he had his moments of, doing stuff that most peers might have, done. But for the most part, I do believe Paul Walker is somebody who was a decent human being, y'all. That's the best way I could say. A really decent human being. I mean, I don't know him personally. I don't know his family and none of that. I don't know. But I would really say he was a a really decent guy. Of course, there's a fun side to his character and that sort of a thing. But if you had, this is how I look at it, okay? If he called you his friend, if you were his friend, or he looked upon you as a friend, if anything ever happened, if you were to call him, he would be there in a heartbeat. That's the kind of impression I get from him. Again, I don't know him personally. But that's the sad part. I mean, you see all these crazy psychos, like, what's that Tool's name, who's sitting in jail for all the sex crimes or whatever, in I don't even want to mention his name, but idiots like that are still alive, and decent people like Paul Walker are gone. So it kind of is very heartbreaking, but it is what it is, right? I mean, so anyway, thank you so very much. And I don't know, I'm feeling a little bit emotional too. This is the weirdest thing. I just don't know why, though. Maybe his energy is kind of hanging around. I really feel a little bit odd. I'm going to stop. Thank you so very much. You all have a great day. Bye.